Is this the most stunning Coca-Cola campaign in history? Why is everyone talking about Taehyung's gaze? Find out what's behind the visuals that left millions breathless. And don't forget to comment. Like and subscribe if your heart skipped a beat. Have you ever seen a face so captivating it feels almost unreal? A stare so intense it pierces through the screen, through your soul, and leaves you wondering whether you're dreaming or witnessing. A living masterpiece? That's exactly what happened today when the world woke up to the visual storm unleashed by none other than BTS's Kim Taehyung, now crowned as the newest face of Coca-Cola. And trust us when we say this, fans are not just impressed, they are devastated in the best way possible. With a single frame, a single flicker of his eyes, Taehyung has set social media ablaze. But how could something so simple, a glance, a smirk, a bottle of Coca-Cola in hand, carry this much weight? What kind of magic is embedded within that visual? And is this the most stunning campaign the iconic beverage brand has ever released in its century-long history? It didn't begin with fireworks. There was no grand announcement, no endless teaser campaign. It started with one photo, one image. A cold, crimson Coca-Cola bottle clutched effortlessly in his hand, condensation trickling down the side like a cinematic dream. And that look from Taehyung, with his wavy black hair slightly falling over his forehead, his eyes deep and enigmatic, and that lips-parted stare that made time pause for armies across the globe. But this wasn't just about a drink. This wasn't even just about Taehyung. It was about something bigger, something that speaks to beauty, art, longing, and global impact. Coca-Cola didn't just choose a global celebrity. They chose the visual standard, the embodiment of elegance, mystery, and emotion in a single human form. Within minutes, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and every platform imaginable were flooded with reactions. Fan edits, emotional tributes, memes of "How do we survive this?" and even artistic recreations of the poster. It was a wave. A tidal wave? And all of it centered around a man holding a soda bottle and doing absolutely nothing but being himself. But is that all? Is it just about his beauty? Or is there something more layered behind this campaign? If you look closely, and we mean really look, there's a deeper story unraveling. The campaign, though seemingly simple, plays with emotions, nostalgia, desire, warmth, rebellion, the glowing red background, reminiscent of neon signs in late-night Seoul. The glimmer in Taehyung's eyes, as if he's hiding a secret. Or perhaps, daring you to come closer and find it out yourself. And fans did try to find it out. Theories began to flood the internet. Why now? Why Coca-Cola? Why Taehyung? Why this version of him, raw, natural, effortlessly striking, almost mythical? Some began to speculate that this campaign marks a new chapter for Taehyung, one that leans harder into solo luxury deals, while others couldn't stop linking the visual choices to motifs in his previous solo music, the flower references, the layering of subtle rebelliousness, the softness wrapped in fierce energy. And then came the video teaser, only 10 seconds long, but enough to make millions gasp. The camera pans slowly across the glass bottle, then up his arm, resting at last on his face, eyes locked with yours. A slow-motion blink, a breath, a smirk, and then the whisper, "It's not just a drink. It's a feeling." That was it, and that was all it took. How does one person exude that much impact in a whisper? How does he hold millions of hearts hostage with a blink? People aren't just calling this a campaign. They're calling it a moment in pop culture history, and rightfully so. Coca-Cola is no stranger to iconic faces, from movie stars to athletes to pop legends. But never has there been such a fusion of mystique and emotional depth quite like this. This wasn't a celebrity endorsing a brand. This was a brand surrendering itself to a muse, and the world responded. Coca-Cola trended globally, but not because of Coca-Cola, because of Taehyung. Fans, of course, were quick to buy out every product with his face on it. Stores reported surges. Some locations were entirely sold out. And perhaps more impressively, people who weren't even in the fandom, casual observers, marketing professionals, artists, they all agreed. This is visual perfection. Parents who never followed K-pop asked their kids, "Who is that?" Non-fans clicked play and found themselves spiraling into hours of watching old Taehyung videos, mesmerized by his voice, his duality, his elegance. But here's what really hits home. It's not just about the way he looks. It's about the way he makes you feel. there's something deeply emotional, almost nostalgic about the atmosphere he carries. He doesn't just sell a drink. He awakens a memory you didn't know you had, a dream you forgot, a feeling you missed. And that's why this campaign hits different. It's not hot guy drinks soda. It's this man reminds you of something you once loved but forgot. And now you're crying over a Coca-Cola bottle. What other idol can do that? And yet, despite the flood of praise, Taehyung remains silent. No post, no caption, no behind the scenes. Just visuals dropped like bombs one by one, leaving everyone gasping and begging for more. It's haunting. It's brilliant. It's so Taehyung. The campaign also sparked emotional responses in places you might not expect. Fan letters poured in, some tearful, some poetic. One viral comment read, "He's not just beautiful. He's the person I see in my dreams when the world feels too heavy." Another wrote, "He makes me feel seen, even if he doesn't know me." And that's where it becomes something far beyond marketing. Taehyung isn't just a brand ambassador. The silence that followed the release was deafening. Not from the public. No, the public was screaming. But from Taehyung himself, no explanation. No captions. No elaborate promotions. Just presence. And in that silence, fans found something louder than words. Meaning. Every line on his face, every shadow captured in the frame, every soft curl of his hair was dissected and adored. People zoomed in on his eyes to catch the reflection in them. Was it a city skyline? A studio light? Or was it something metaphorical? The entire world watching him. It felt like poetry. It felt like a secret love letter shared between artist and audience. The kind of campaign that doesn't ask you to buy. It asks you to feel. Coca-Cola has always been about happiness. But this campaign, with Taehyung at the helm, made it about intimacy, about longing, about memory. The kind of memory that hurts in a beautiful way. The kind of longing you can't name. As the day unfolded, fan spaces turned into emotional gathering points. Comments like, "He's not real," or "I need to sit down after watching this," dominated timelines. Artists began sketching him with Coke bottles glowing like relics. Poets wrote odes to the softness in his gaze. Filmmakers broke down the visual language, trying to understand how a simple campaign could feel so cinematic. And then came the edits, thousands upon thousands of fan edits, merging scenes from his past music videos with the new Coca-Cola visuals, as if to create a storyline, a Taehyung cinematic universe, where every glance held a plot twist, and every smirk whispered a secret. But fans weren't just watching. They were transforming. Some said it reignited their creativity. Others confessed it reminded them why they fell in love with BTS in the first place. And yet others, especially those outside, the usual K-pop sphere, and were drawn in with no way out. It wasn't just ARMY, it was everyone. What's most surreal is that the campaign doesn't shout. It whispers. And maybe that's the trick. In a world full of loud distractions, Taehyung invites you in, and once you're in, you don't want to leave. That's power. That's presence. That's Taehyung. Behind the scenes, rumors began to swirl. This campaign, some say, has been months in the making. Others insist that Coca-Cola fought tooth and nail to secure him before luxury brands could. Some even believe that this is only the first phase, a soft visual rollout before something much bigger. Perhaps a global ad, a Super Bowl debut, a limited edition Coca-Cola X Taehyung collector's bottle. Who knows? But the most haunting theory? That this campaign is laced with personal symbolism. Fans who have followed Taehyung since his debut notice parallels. The use of red reminiscent of early BTS aesthetics. The shadows like those in Stigma. The wistfulness in his expression. Echoing the emotions from his Layover album. Is he telling a story through color? Through posture? Through silence?